Have you ever found yourself trapped inside of outer space-themed park equipment thinking, man, it's really ugly in here? No wonder they ended the world in atomic fire. Enter physically based Parkware. It's important to protect our parks in New Vegas. There are many people trying to get rid of them, or at least allow them to be hideous. We shouldn't stand for this as proud New Vegas citizens. Stand up and sit down on a nice-looking 200-year-old seesaw. Check out the slide. There's enough tetanus for everyone. Look at the swing. Look at it. And watch a close friend or loved one give those rusty chains a go. From a safe distance, of course. Remember, do your best not to get stuck on the monkey bars. It happens to the best of us. And the worst. Speaking of parks, every good park has a good park ranger to test out the equipment. And we all know a good park ranger shows up with a clean looking getup. And physically based rangers make sure you look as good as you should while you're rangering those parks. But that's not enough. The intro shows the New Vegas park ranger lighting up his visor, and we must be able to do this lest we be blind. Glowing Ranger Visors is a pairing mod for physically based rangers that achieves this necessary visual upgrade. Finally, some of the rangers will be able to see. God bless the NCR. Everyone and their mother knows a good park ranger keeps the peace with energy weapons such as plasma rifles and alien blasters. Look, I'll level with you. It's not absolutely necessary to make sure every little item is in 8K. There are so many things to look at and pick up in Fallout games, our brains are hardly registering every little detail on every little piece of scrap. Guns are a different story though. Because weapons sit front and near center of your screen, they take up an enormous percentage of your field of view relative to the rest of the world space. I think it's a more substantial improvement given their presence, and I really think there is a lack of mods that touch energy weapons from vanilla. Physically based plasma rifles and physically based blaster help bring some of those weapons into the 2020s. And while we are discussing alien blasters, let's move on to everyone's favorite Mormon, J.G. Joshua Graham, formerly the Malpace Legate, now the Burned Man. Physically based Joshua Graham puts JG in your room, under your bed, and occasionally in your shower. Just kidding, he doesn't shower, but this mod makes JG look gorgeous, stupendous, and beautiful. Look at the details in his drip. Now, I'm going to teach you something, Professor Ranger here, class is now in session. There is a mod called Authentic Burned Man. It makes Homeboy look like he really got cooked. Very good stuff. These mods are seemingly compatible, but you have to do a little bit more to get things working properly. Do not panic, this is very easy. All I did was go here into MO2, double click on the physically based mod, then go in through the textures and meshes and hide each of the files mentioning helmet or head wrap. There are relevant files in every folder, so go through and hide them all by right clicking on them and selecting hide. Moving on, I'm sure most of us are aware of Joshua's past with chem use and wild partying. Man, did he used to live it up on the strip, but we all know where you end up when the fun runs dry. Freeside. Then you end up getting hooked on the mentat, and you want a little rebound to keep you going. Then, as somebody once told you, the world is gonna roll you, and you end up robbing the followers of the Apocalypse's Medex stash to clear your rash. While you're at the followers, you'll probably meet a friendly dealer who gives you some jet samples he made with Brahmin dung. Things are getting out of hand, your hair is falling out, and you have no teeth left, you lost all your money, you forgot where you put your clothes, and it's dark. But at least you have some cat eye. Once you pop the cat eye, you can see a blood pack on the ground, and you figure, what the heck, maybe I'll get a terminal STD, maybe I'll grow a third penis. After careful deliberation, you go for it, and instantly crave Radaway. You accidentally take Rad-X, but then you correct course and use the Radaway. Really, you just keep pounding them both, because it feels like you're burning internally after inserting that blood pack. Afterwards, you realize that you just experienced the most wicked high, and you desperately search for another blood pack. It seems to be taking too long for your liking, and you haven't dared go this far up to this point, but you give in to speed things up and take some turbo. You begin moving so fast that you break both of your legs and collapse, breaking both of your arms as you try and break your fall, leaving your head and torso with that duty. Unfortunately, instead of breaking the fall broke them too. Luckily, you have a third penis, and you administer the Hydra. After breaking everything and healing at a rate that would make Deadpool blush, you completely forget about the blood pack and remember you met a woman who called herself Mama Murphy. She had an intriguing looking substance she called Psycho, and said, "Here, you can have this, kid. I'm more of a jet fiend myself." Remembering your previous drug incident shattering all of your limbs, you quickly take a bath in doctor's bags before using the Psycho to make sure your body can handle the rush. You pop some buff out as well to increase your strength and make sure your muscles are nice and dense. Then it's blast off. The Psycho is released and you're off to the races. It's absolute chaos and confusion, and after the wildest experience of your life, you come to sitting squarely on 2 hot plates, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. It's at this point that you decide, that's enough. No more chems for me. You decide to take up an honest trade and become a scientist. You find yourself a chemistry set and begin to experiment. You still have the shakes from all the withdrawal, so you take some steady just before administering the fixer. Then through careful use of your chemistry set and test tube rack, you finally create your magnum opus, your gift to the Mojave, to the wasteland at large, the cloud. You slam a bottle on the ground and begin taking stimpaks of all kinds. After all that hard work you've been up to, you think, damn, I need a drink. Being a chem fiend has made me awfully thirsty. Physically based beverages makes the drinks in New Vegas drinkable. Just reach in and have a sip. Now the bars across the Mojave have something worth selling. Anyone who has ever been to a liquor store knows half the fun is just looking at the different bottles. Now you can experience this in virtual Sin City, where temptation is truly tempting. This covers all sorts of booze for drinking, water both pure and dirty for hangovers and hydration, and soda for diabetes. Now you're hooked on the Nuka-Cola and Sunset Sarsaparilla, so you find yourself a terminal to order some more online. Chems must have fried your brain because Amazon did not survive the Great War, but now you have found the hobby of reading other people's email, and you are able to give up the sody pop. Let's make sure that you can tell the difference between buttons on the keyboard with physically based terminals. After you carefully study every bit of pre-war office drama in the greater Vegas region, you suddenly get the itch to find some more limited edition variants of Nuka-Cola, and you realize you'll have to send out mail all across the wasteland, far and wide, to all collectors, businesses, and governments. In the meantime, you'll return to your job as a courier to deliver said mail. This gives you access to the old school infinite money glitch, also known as a job. Congratulations, unemployment in New Vegas just went down thanks to your radioactive soda pop addiction. Hold on just a minute though. What's the plan to deliver all of this mail? You're gonna walk all over the country to deliver mail asking people about soda when you could just cut out the mail part and ask them about the soda. Instead of that, you should fix up a physically based vehicle, drive around, and quickly drop off the mail without needing to actually talk to people. The car needs to look good though, as a respectable mailman maintains a respectable mailmobile. That way, raiders, deathclaws, and other unscrupulous types will withdraw, as even they respect the craft. No one would ever, and I mean ever, disrespect a courier. Mail is something we all need, and it's up to you to deliver it in style. As you return to life as a courier, you need to think about the tools of the trade beyond the mail vehicular system. It's a complex trade that requires complex tools, such as the humble fridge or the stoic stove. Life as a courier is much like life in a pressure cooker. You're going to sweat. You'll find a lot of bread along the way, so you'll need a toaster. When you're not using the toaster, you can store it in a metal pot. Then when you're all done baking your bread in your toaster, you can make yourself a nice coffee mug of coffee with your Coffee King coffee maker. Given all these excellent tools, the courier business has been booming for you, and now you have given up the soda and began a soda importing and exporting business in New Vegas with your fellow former fiend, Joshua Graham. You got him to co-sign by including his favorite Bible verses on the bottles to spread the good word. Now, with his unrelenting force and your courier expertise, you have established a soda mailing empire that completely ends the Crimson Caravan and Gunrunners. Soda divisions. so they don't do soda anymore. It's almost like they never did. With this newfound wealth, you are able to afford wooden crates to put the soda in during transportation. Despite Joshua's warnings, you get those crates and business expenses explode through the roof given the massive amount of lumber you're toting. During transportation, the dry wood and incredible heat leads to a series of vicious transportation and caravan fires known as the Great Wooden Crates Fires of 2281. No more details are known, as no one survived the incidents, and any notes that were left did not survive the blazes. You and Joshua decided to part ways and never speak of this again. He says as you part that if you ever cross paths again, he will baptize you in Nuka-Cola. Sounds nice on paper, but I don't think his intentions were good. You decided to do some pondering about the experiences you've collected. Think about life and what you've done, and how far you have come from your early days in the parks. You long for that simplicity once more. You look at the barrels of radioactive waste, stare deeply into them, and stand upon them to know what they are and how they be. To quench your thirst in the desert heat, you find a fountain of water and take a sip. Then you consider another way to restore the joy of youth once more, the drive-in. The radios you sink into to hear the movies. After this nonsense, you realize it's time to grow up, move on from the pleasures of the past, and take to the big city to get yourself a desk job. You head to the bus station and wait a while. Then you walk to the big city where you pick up some jobs to build your resume. You start off as a cashier, then spend some time as a repairman for food processors. Wages are tough, so you spend some time living in a locker. At least you're not back in the garbage can like during your Freeside Chem days. Eventually you upgrade to a double-door luxury cabinet, and people are starting to notice around town. Someone even offers you a bucket. You're moved by the kind gesture and begin using your repair skills to fix lights around the Mojave free of charge. It doesn't stop there though, because you begin collecting scrap metal that you store on shelves. This helps you repair people's radios, metal boxes, radios, ammo boxes, metal boxes, and file cabinets, making you a beloved figure and bringing you more wealth than you ever could have made at the soda mailing business. After repairing so many radios, you eventually get your own radio show where you discuss stuff and things. People grant you the radio DJ name 3 Dong. The fame is too much to handle, and you don't want to cross paths with Joshua Graham again, so you take your fortunes and yeast, use a stealth boy, and sneak out into the desert where you find a pre-war relic that you begin to worship. A tale for another day perhaps, but long story short, you start some sort of atom worshipping cult around the thing and end up taking over the wasteland.